So the problem, you know, the arguing, the shouting starts from there. And of course, day by day, these things is increasing, you know, the conflict is increasing more and more. And up till one day, they were shouting to each other. And then my colleague said, "You said you killed my dog. You said you killed me. You hit me. You are a martial artist. You are a teacher, a Sifu. I am a people which I don't know martial art. If you want to push, why should you push me? Why don't you push somebody who knows martial art?" And then he said, "Who? Who do you know that knows martial art?" Now, I count 3. If you don't name the one that you know martial art, I'm going to hit you. And then he count 1, 2, 3. And then my colleagues has nothing, no one in the mind, only that he knows that I know martial art. He said, "Wong Kiu." Yeah. He went, "Okay, you tell your friend, come to see me tonight. If your friend fails to see me, I beat you." So, that morning, he went to the office. We meet in the office in the morning together, and then we split, we come out to work, you know. And at the time I was driving a scooter. So he climbs, when I go out of the gate, he climbs at the back of my scooter and asks me to go on. Because this man, we are colleagues, but we are not close.
Yeah.
Not close. But suddenly he climbs at the back of my scooter and asks me to go. Seems to be very nervous. You know? So I drove out of the compound, turned into another side street. There's a food store, because in Hong Kong, by the side of the street, you have somebody make a wood, store, just like in Holland, you sell Harling store or this. But that store is selling tea, coffee, bread, and all these things. He asked me to pull off and sit there to drink a cup of coffee. Then I asked him, what is the nervous about? Then he told me the story and told me about the character of this man and told me about the problem between he and him. He said, I have no choice because I was scared at that moment. I called your name out and he said, I must have you to go to see him. If not, he will beat me. Okay. Then I make an appointment with him. After work, we take a douche, you know, and then we go to see him. So, in the work, Wong Shun Leungs was there because by that time he's working for me. He was my foreman.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about this. And then he said, okay, let's go. Let's go. And we make an appointment 7 o'clock to meet in the school, and we go. Then in the school, we also met another one called Lee, Raymond Lee. So the Raymond Lee heard about this, he also wants to go. So finally, 3 of us go with the man, which called Henry Chun. So we go. So this man has a cafeteria, selling coffee, some snacks, some small things. So we wait for him there and ask Henry Chun to go to fetch him. So finally, he came down. We told him, we were waiting for you downstairs, the cafeteria there. But at that time, we didn't know that the cafeteria belongs to him.
Yeah.
We didn't know that. But we saw a cafeteria and he's living upstairs. So it's good that we sit there to drink a coffee and waiting for him. And finally he came. By that time, we were still young. We were in our 20s. We were still young. And he was older than us. By that time, he's about, I think, 40 or something. And then the big fellow come. And then we 3 were sitting on a table. He came down. So this man said, this is Wong Jackson. Is the name of the man. And then we say hello. But he said nothing when he saw us. The first word he said, "You stupid young man," he said, "you are being sold by somebody."
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked him, sit down, please. And we talk about not the problem between he and my colleague. I just talked to him. I said, I am Wang Kiu. You asked me to come and see you. And I heard that you are a martial artist. You are training iron palm. And so I told him we were learning Wing Chun. At that time, really, we were only learning. We were learning Wing Chun. I said, you asked me to come and see you, so we came. I came. These 2 are my friends, also training Wing Chun. And he said, young man, you are stupid. You are being sold by this man, he pointed my friend. Do you know what is happening between me and him? I said, I don't care. It's not my problem. What's happening between you 2, but I only heard that you are training iron palm. It's different from our style. I only heard about it. I said the purpose is not the problem between you and him. It's not my business. I only heard that you were training iron palm. I wanted to see how's the iron palm are, to learn something from you. I've been always a gentle person. I don't use bad words or shouting. And then he said, you are being so. And then he told me the story about the dog that bothering his student. I still insist, no. That is not my problem. My problem is only that I want to learn. I heard there's a good martial artist here. I won't let the chance go. By that time, on the contrary, I challenge. Mm-hmm. He said, I have no problem with you. I said, it's not no problem. I said, there's no problem. Any problem between you and him is nothing to do with me. I said, we just wanted to learn and see how. I just wanted to learn how an iron palm is. Only with one purpose, to learn. Then